Natalie, who always chooses the wrong guy, gets catfished when she flies to the East Coast to surprise Josh. She finds the real guy from his profile tag there and takes Josh's help to woo him. Natalie is on the lookout for her soulmate, so she keeps going on one disastrous date after another. While someone is older than their photo in the profile, another seemingly perfect guy has a wife and kids. Her gut keeps telling her to give up, but she prepares for her next date. She has hopes with Ted, who likes puppies and a sunset sail, till he ghosts her. The only good thing about her love life is that she gets paid to write about it. She has been writing about her disaster dates for years with the pseudonym, Always a Bridesmaid. People love that she can't find love, but Natalie is getting tired of failing all the time. Her best friend and colleague, Carrie, thinks the problem is with Natalie. In all her disaster dates, she is the common denominator. Natalie feels that her problem is with Los Angeles guys. Carrie agrees and feels she needs to look beyond a 5-mile radius on the app. Her partner, Mark, came from Ohio, so she wants Natalie to think bigger. Natalie complains about gas being expensive, but Carrie sets up her radius wider to cover the entire country. When Carrie offers to get her a drink, Natalie asks her to avoid kiwi. She is allergic and swells up whenever she has it. Her boss, Lee, wants the next story about her disaster date. Natalie suggests something different. Lee is not interested because people take comfort in Natalie's love life being horrible. Natalie drags a tree to her place alone and opens the Flirt Alert app. She gets a string of pretentious guys as her potential matches. Josh's profile stands out, even if he lives in Lake Placid. When she learns his favorite Christmas movie is Love Actually, she matches with him. She hates that he loves a movie based on how people look. Josh feels it's more about the triumph of love over reality. When Natalie claims her favorite is Die Hard, Josh makes fun of her thinking it's a Christmas movie. Natalie tries to prove him wrong and gives pointers about how there's a Christmas party and gifts in the movie. Carrie finds Josh perfect, but is concerned because Natalie has never met him. She does have a history. Natalie reminds her he has a lot of pictures, but Carrie doesn't think that matters. She asks for a photo of Josh holding that day's newspaper till she can believe him. Natalie wrestles Carrie as she dials his number. Natalie makes an excuse about calling him by mistake and feels embarrassed. When he sends her a photo with her name after the call, even Carrie is convinced. Natalie keeps talking to him all the time and claims she assumed he would be a hot guy with a pic on standby. He sends her a photo of a famous person, and she replies. Josh explains that he lives with his stepmom after his parents got divorced when he was young. Natalie's mother passed away last year, and she discusses how that feels. She talks to him when she eats and doesn't believe he is a chubby kid like her. They exchange notes on movies, and it feels like Josh is with her all the time. This sounds too good to be true. He even quotes a passage from her favorite book when she mentions it. Her mom read it to her when she was little, and it helped her sleep. Josh instantly starts reading the book to her, and she falls asleep to his voice. She realizes he's still on call the next morning. Natalie thanks Josh for last night, and he wishes she was there with him. Lee asks her about the next disaster, but Natalie is sure she has met someone special. Lee doesn't want something nice and asks her to rant about another crazy dating app guy. He reminds her of all the instances she complained about different guys with guinea pigs, or someone who was too happy. Lee wants Natalie to realize that her dating life is a disaster, but she should be thankful she has a job because of it. Natalie pitches a story about a girl about to give up on love, who finds it just in time for Christmas. Lee asks her to leave the serious stuff for real journalists like Steve. She still insists her disaster days are over, and she's planning to fly to Lake Placid in New York to get her happy ending with Josh. When Lee realizes she hasn't met Josh yet, he gets excited. He knows it'll be a huge disaster when Natalie surprises a virtual stranger for the holidays across the country. It does sound weird. Natalie promises to prove him wrong, since she's sure this will go well. She seeks validation from Carrie. She wonders if it's insane to fly 3,000 miles to meet a guy she has never seen. Carrie thinks Josh seems the opposite of all her disasters, and this might be the sanest thing she does. When Natalie lands in Lake Placid, everyone gets their bags except her. This is just when Lee asks for an update about her disaster. Natalie reports her lost bag to Eric at airport security, but he asks her to fill out a form for the after-hours slot. She reminds him he's sitting in the open office, but Eric insists someone else will contact her. She's frustrated and calls an Uber, but Eric is the driver too. It's the only Uber in town, and even drives the only Lyft. That's just her luck. She reluctantly asks him to take her to Holt Street, and Eric recognizes Josh Lynn's address. He used to smoke up with him after school. Natalie asks him to turn off the radio when Baby It's Cold Outside starts playing. Eric feels it's a cute and flirty Christmas duet, but Natalie disapproves of it. She likes that Josh's house is all decked up for Christmas, but Eric asks her to give Josh a joint before she leaves. Natalie finds Josh's mother, Barb, at the door. Josh is not home, but Barb is expecting him soon. She invites Natalie in and is impressed that they're friends. Her husband, Bob, and Josh's grandmother, June, also come out to meet her. They're very excited that Natalie might be more than friends with Josh. She explains that she flew from Los Angeles to surprise him, which they all think is very romantic. Barb hears Josh come in, so Natalie prepares herself for her first look at him. Natalie realizes she has been catfished because the real Josh looks completely different. It was too good to be true. She makes an excuse about her luggage, and Josh follows her out. He tries to explain the photo he sent and admits he's good at Photoshop. She takes baby Jesus from his setup and starts hitting him for being a psychopath with a fake profile. He points out it's also weird she flew across the country to end up at his front lawn. Natalie hates that he's blaming this on her, and clarifies that she has dated a Chinese guy before. She is upset with him because he lied to her and let things go too far. She walks off and ends up drinking at a karaoke bar. Natalie ignores a group of men till Josh from the picture, who is Tag, shows up at the bar. She calls Carrie from the bathroom and explains the whole situation. Carrie feels Tag being there is a sign, and she owes it to herself to try with him. Natalie is afraid of losing her self-respect, but Carrie knows it will make for a great story. Natalie gets back to the BA and steals some shots that have kiwi in them. She wants to get drunk so she can put in a request for a song. Josh finds the baby Jesus outside the bar and knows she's inside. As Natalie takes the stage from behind, Tag and his friends seem excited. She has a great voice, but her puffed-up face scares everyone when she turns. Good, she can't see it. She keeps dancing for Tag and his friends, and he asks them to be respectful of her condition. He still feels uncomfortable, and she screams when she looks at her face in the mirror. Josh follows her as she realizes those shots have kiwi. She passes out and wakes up in a vet's office. Josh couldn't take her to the real hospital, since that's too far. Josh feels it was stupid of Natalie to attempt sexy karaoke for Tag. He gets hit on by hot girls all the time, so Natalie needs to try something different. Josh was best friends with Tag till 8th grade, so he has enough idea about him. He offers to help Natalie get Tag if she pretends to be his girlfriend till Christmas. His parents have been proud of him, and he needs the respect they showed him that day. He promises to stage a breakup after Christmas when his family is convinced and Tag has fallen for her. She only agrees to this deal because Lee is also putting pressure on her. This is a proper recipe for disaster. Josh brings Natalie to his messy place and asks her to feel at home. She doesn't let him take the bed and addresses the catfishing issue. He insists he didn't mean to do it. His real profile has been up for a year, and he only has 3 matches on it. One of them was his retired English teacher. As an experiment, he decided to use a picture of a standard hot guy like Tag. He got 85 matches in minutes. This made him realize there are many girls out there who just don't want to date him. Natalie refuses to let him take sympathy for this, but agrees to honor their deal. Everyone is warm to Natalie at breakfast, where Josh brags about going for karaoke last night. Barb is curious about what qualities of Josh caught Natalie's eye. She makes some backhanded taunts at him, and how he had unbelievable things in his profile. June wants to join a dating site too, and asks for their profiles. They make excuses about not having their phones and how Josh needs to show Natalie around. Josh starts training Natalie about Tag's likes and dislikes. He knows Tag prefers women who look more relaxed and casual. He has asked Tag to stop by their sports equipment store soon. He hands her a book by Thoreau, which is an author she hates. Josh asks her to pretend to like it since it's Tag's favorite. Natalie pretends to read the book as Tag walks into the store. Josh introduces Natalie as his cousin from his stepmom's side. Tag is impressed that she's reading his favorite book, which he rereads every year. Natalie pretends to find it inspiring, and Tag quotes a line from a book that always makes him tear up. Josh teaches a survival course in Yosemite every summer, so Natalie pretends to be excited about it. Tag asks her to join his friends at Rock Ventures the next day for a climb. Josh agrees from her side and is excited about their date. Natalie doesn't know how to climb, so Josh offers to teach her at the store. She screams when she's almost touching the ground too. He asks her to focus on her first and second moves instead of the wall and the ground. He shows her how to do it and asks her to quote Van Gogh in front of Tag. He admits Tag was exactly like people would expect in high school. He was the prom king and the star of the football team. They stopped being friends because Tag became popular, and Josh didn't. Natalie starts climbing and admits she was a late bloomer too. He realizes she is doing great and asks her to keep it up. Natalie finds some candles in Josh's apartment. He admits that's more than a hobby for him. He doesn't like that candles are only marketed to women. He is creating his line of masculine candles to serve the rest of the US market. He has not made a business out of it because he can't ask his dad for a loan. Bob is only interested in manly and sporty things. Josh knows Bob and his brother Owen will only tease him about it. They hear everyone getting excited about Owen's arrival with his wife, Chelsea. Owen is confused about Natalie and assumes she is June's new nurse or from Barb's book club. He doesn't believe that she's Josh's girlfriend, but pretends to be excited about this development. He claims he was discussing with Chelsea about how Josh is still single since he lives with his mom. Natalie can tell how mean Owen is, so she pretends to be in love with Josh. Owen brings a lot of energy while decorating the tree. He brings out an ornament with Josh's embarrassing photo, and everyone makes fun of it. Natalie comments on how her awkward teen years helped her become more empathetic. She feels if it weren't for them, she might be an attention-seeking jerk. Owen knows this comment is for his ears, so he teases her about being a former chubster. Natalie finds the tree topper Owen puts up every year. Josh suggests Natalie should put it up that year since she is their guest. Owen knows he needs to hand it over, but doesn't like it. Natalie asks Josh to steal the spotlight back from Owen whenever he tries to take it. Josh assures her the wall they have to climb is similar to their store. Natalie freaks out when it's much taller. Tag waits for her to climb, while Natalie wants to get her gear off and leave. Josh calms her down and assures her she can do this. He gives her some earbuds so she can listen to her favorite song to relax. He reminds her she needs to take it one move at a time, and she calms herself down. Everyone is impressed till she reaches the top and panics when she looks down. Josh pretends it's his turn to climb, and quickly joins Natalie at the top. He assures her the hard part is over, and she just needs to rappel down. Josh asks Natalie to trust him, and knows he can get her down safely. He asks her to breathe, and praises how well she did all by herself. He asks her to close her eyes and release herself when she's at the edge. He gently pushes her down, and Tag is impressed by her neat landing. Tag asks her to join him at Corbin Glen Park the next morning for another date. Natalie is amused with how passionate Owen is about the Lynn family carols. Josh and Natalie stand back as the whole family sings for the crowd. Someone requests Baby, It's Cold Outside, which is a song Natalie hates. Josh decides to steal the spotlight from Owen and insists that he and Natalie can take the duet. As if life isn't already hard for her, Natalie refuses to ever sing a sexual theme song in public. Owen offers to take the duet from them, but Josh assures him Natalie knows the lyrics. Josh asks Natalie to just sing her part, and that he'll change his lyrics so it sounds better. Natalie reluctantly sings her part, but is impressed with how consensual Josh is making the song sound. He changes all the lyrics to make it sound like the song respects women. That's a clear talent. When everyone congratulates them, Owen and Chelsea decide to announce that she's pregnant. The whole focus shifts to Owen, so Josh also asks for everyone's attention. He bends down on a knee and asks Natalie to marry him. How is this still getting worse? Natalie tries to make an excuse about him not having a ring, but June hands Josh one from her finger. With all the pressure, Natalie is forced to say yes. Natalie is mad at Josh, but he's excited about standing up to Owen. She reminds him this was not part of the plan. He apologizes for getting carried away. She thinks everyone will feel she's the bad guy when she walks out after Christmas. She's worried about her date with Tag, and doesn't want him to find out she's engaged to her cousin. Josh asks her to trust him, and assures her he will figure this out. Trust might be a little hard to come right now. Owen tries to search for Natalie online because it feels weird a stranger will be part of their family. Since he doesn't find anything with a search, Chelsea asks him to stop obsessing over it. Chelsea feels Natalie isn't so bad, and Josh seems to be into her. Carrie thinks a therapist will get very wealthy listening to Natalie's tragedies one day. She's not wrong. She assures Natalie she just has to make sure Tag and Josh's family don't find out anything about her before Christmas. Natalie finds Bob close to the hearth and offers to help him with the kindling. She finds a photo of his dad who passed away a few years ago. Bob remembers that he loved his family and Christmas more than anything. He used to stomp on the roof so his grandkids thought Santa had arrived. He once broke his arm while doing that, but told the kids he was protecting their presents from the Grinch. He assures Natalie that he's very happy she's joining their family. Natalie loves the hike Tag brings her to. Tag assures her this is just a warm-up since he wants to take her bobsledding. Josh asks Natalie to relax and put on some music. Natalie doesn't think that will help, but she finds the joint Eric gave her. She is more than calm during the whole ride. Natalie gets back and is excited about having another date with Tag. She feels he's as perfect in person as he is on paper. Josh is mixing some new scents for his candles. Natalie is impressed with how it smells like grass and mechanic guys. She smells one he is secretive about, which reminds her of eucalyptus, Old Spice, and gasoline. He admits he made it for his grandpa, because of whom he started making candles. This scent reminds Josh of him, and Natalie thinks that's very sweet. The family calls them to watch Love Actually, which Natalie hates. She doesn't buy the placard scene, but plays along because the family seems to like it. Barb is excited, as she shows them that Josh and Natalie's engagement announcement will be in the papers the next day. Josh and Natalie steal all the papers the next morning and hoard them in their car. Natalie feels she looks like a deer in the photo, but thinks Josh looks very decent. She asks him not to put himself down and knows a lot of girls who would like him. She can tell he still has his original profile photos from the dating app and asks him to show them to her. She makes fun of him looking like an axe murderer in one photo, but Josh insists he was going for a rugged look. He also has a bathroom selfie with a wrench, since he feels girls like guys who fix things. She tries to show him what's wrong with his profile. It seems like he's planning a murder. She knows he only got 3 matches because he's not playing to his strengths. She thinks he has beautiful eyes and teeth and needs to show them off. She also knows he's a good guy, and the right girl will see that. She asks him to believe that he's amazing, and knows that will reflect in his profile. She asks him to promise her that he will put up an honest profile of himself when all the mess is over. Natalie is missing the family's gingerbread house night because of her date with Tag. She has made some changes to his mom's dress, but he thinks she looks perfect. She is going to the steakhouse, Abbott's, which Tag's family owns. Natalie feels she can pretend to like meat for Tag. Josh feels she doesn't need to change her beliefs for him. Natalie doesn't see an issue with lying a little, and reminds Josh she's there because of his lie. Josh feels he just lied about a photo, but Natalie insists his whole identity was fake. Josh tries to explain how every single conversation they had was with him. He knew she liked the real him so much that she flew across the country to surprise him. Natalie admits she liked him, but she realized he was a lie and fiction. Natalie seems nervous about the meat all around her, and Tag needing to have the rarest meat. Owen wonders why Natalie is not with them, so Tag pretends she's sampling a wedding meal at Abbott's. Owen feels they should do that together, but Josh insists he's happy with her choices. Owen remembers he ran out of Twizzlers and decided to head out to the store. Tag asks Natalie's opinion about the place, and she tries to be polite about all the animals. She jokes about getting to see Bambi outside Disney World, but is not expecting Tag to shoot him. This is almost cruel. He asks about her interests, and she admits Die Hard is her favorite Christmas movie. Tag disagrees, but he toasts to her. Owen finds them chatting at the restaurant and feels victorious. Natalie discusses how much she loves Christmas, but thinks Santa is creepy because he knows your schedule and makes you sit on his lap. Tag agrees because he genuinely doesn't like Christmas at all. He hasn't even celebrated it in 3 years, which Natalie finds weird. She asks him to pull up a little away from the house and pretends she had a great evening. He kisses her, but she feels awkward. Natalie wants to explain things to Josh in the morning, but June asks them to tag along to a nursing home. June brags about getting 2 experts on online dating for her friends. People in the home ask questions about the details they have to mention in their profile. Natalie suggests they should be honest, but one of them doesn't want to mention his Parkinson's. They all decide to spruce it up and replace their disabilities with something general. Josh understands that they all have lived full lives. He also knows their insecurities have started creeping in, so they want to show a shinier version of themselves on their profiles. He understands that they think it's harmless, but he also feels the person on the other side might fall in love with a version of them that doesn't exist. He thinks it's not fair to the person because they will be disappointed. He insists their profiles need to be honest, but none of them care. Natalie realizes she was so mad at him for the lie that she never thought about why he did it. Josh feels bad about their situation and thinks they should confess to the family. Natalie feels they should play along till Christmas like they planned, and she can manage till then. Josh realizes June is going in the wrong direction, and they both end up at Abbott's. Their family has thrown them a surprise engagement party, and the whole town is invited. How can someone's luck be so bad? Tag knows it's a party for Josh, but doesn't know who the bride-to-be is. Natalie manages to distract him and asks him to do some errands. Eric comes to drop off Natalie's suitcase and congratulates Josh for bagging someone like Natalie. Lee has also turned up at the party after he came across the announcement on Barb's Facebook page. He's excited about getting a great disaster story from this. Owen joins Lee at the bar and is excited to learn more about Natalie from him. Tag introduces Natalie to his parents, so she feels overwhelmed and tries to leave. Owen confronts her because he knows who she is. Tag seems confused when Eric informs him that Natalie is Josh's fiancée. Owen tries to be protective of Josh and informs him that Natalie only came to him to do a disaster date story. He feels Natalie is using Josh as her subject and wants to save him. This is getting out of hand. Bob calls for their attention for a toast. He brags about Josh picking a winner of a bride. He's about to reveal Natalie's name, but she interrupts him. She decides it's time to be honest with everyone. She explains that she got catfished and took Josh's help to win Tag over. She admits she doesn't climb and hates Tag's favorite author. Tag feels she's a hypocrite for blaming Josh for the catfish when she also catfished him. Josh comes home to find his candles and a message from Natalie giving back his ring. His whole family feels sad for him and tries to comfort him. Bob is impressed that Josh makes candles and loves the one that smells like his father. Josh admits it's more than a hobby, and he wants to do this for a living. Bob is relieved Josh doesn't want to work at the store because he's terrible at selling sporting goods. He is proud of Josh and is happy about him making candles if he wants to. Natalie is unable to get a flight out, so she stays at the inn. Lee is still around and makes fun of her engagement toast. He wonders why she didn't just leave when she found out she was being catfished. She usually runs away from imperfection, but didn't this time. Natalie realizes he is right and starts working on her article. She explains the whole situation and how she hopes she can see what's right in front of her. She turns up at Josh's place and holds up signs like "Love Actually" to confess her feelings for him. June encourages Josh to kiss her, and she's finally happy that her story has begun. Natalie spends Christmas with his family, who are very particular about presents. She cracks up when June tries online dating and wonders what a dick pic is.